My name is Sophia Willems, 30 years old. I own an aesthetic salon. My husband, Henry, works for a major corporation. You often hear about infidelity in the third year of marriage, but I never thought Henry would become a statistic. Happy birthday, Sophia. Cheers. To celebrate my birthday, my family, Henry, Evelyn, and Elijah, had gathered in a private room at a restaurant. The mood changed drastically when "Happy birthday, madam" was exclaimed by Henry's mistress, Abigail, who crashed the party.
"This is my special gift to you,"
she said, presenting me with divorce papers. "It's signed by me." "You should be thankful," Henry laughed, thinking he had the upper hand. Henry's laughter is only for now. I've got the upper hand.
"Thank you. I'll submit this to the city office right away."
I took the divorce papers and immediately headed to the city office, which should accept submissions 24 hours a day. 15 minutes later, Abigail was desperately running towards me. She had learned the truth I had entrusted to Evelyn and tried to stop the divorce between me and Henry. This divorce chaos was only possible with the support of Henry's sister, Evelyn, and his boss and brother-in-law, Elijah. Without their support, I wouldn't have had the resolve to go through with this. Outside of birthday parties, the four of us had a tradition of gathering for various celebrations and events.
"Happy 33rd birthday, Henry. Cheers."
The birthday party started again at Evelyn's call.
"Wow, all this food looks delicious." Most of it was made by Evelyn. "Sophia isn't great at cooking. She didn't even know how to cook egg. That's bad."
"We always gather at the Jones, but it's mostly a burden on you, right, Evelyn? Maybe we should just rent a private room in a restaurant?"
"Sophia, you don't get it. In a way, it's a tradition of the Nomura family, right, Henry? Dad and Mom loved home parties. We used to gather all the time. Right, and sometimes strangers would end up joining us."
After Mom passed away, and Dad went into a home, it was just me and my sister. Then Elijah joined, making it 3, and then Sophia made it 4.
It's amazing how well Evelyn and Elijah get along. Henry was deeply involved, and things worked out so well.
What do you mean?
Because Henry is so clueless and oblivious. That Henry played Cupid for Evelyn and Elijah. I never thought Elijah would fall for my sister after just one meeting. When she delivered some important documents I forgot at home, and Elijah was there to receive them, he fell for her at first sight. I thought it was a joke.
Indeed, the four of us have become couples in close quarters. Henry's boss, Elijah, married Henry's real sister.
But I was the Cupid for Henry and Sophia. I was going to Sophia's salon, and it suddenly started raining, so I asked Henry to pick me up. That's when he saw Sophia and fell for her at first sight. Henry and Elijah are quite similar in that regard.
There are theories that love at first sight doesn't exist and others that believe it does, but in our family, it definitely did. Is it because men are simple that they fall in love at first sight? Anyway, the Brown family with me and Henry, as well as the Jones family with Evelyn and Elijah, have gotten along well so far, and it's supposed to continue. I had no doubt about that. I've always wanted to ask, why haven't you and Elijah thought about having kids? You've been married for 7 years, right? Evelyn isn't working, and Elijah earns well. You could afford to raise them. Well, we believe when the time comes, it will happen. Neither of us is anxious about it. The two of us enjoy our time together enough. Evelyn and I both love to travel, right? Having a child might restrict our freedom to travel. That's why we also decided not to get pets.
What about you and Henry, Sophia? It's been 3 years since you got married. Aren't people expecting you to start soon?
We're kind of thinking we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I myself have been busy with work, and finding the right timing is hard.
Sophia is meticulous in training each of her employees, so they're all quite skilled. We've recently started offering head spa treatments. You should try it sometime, Evelyn. Sophia gives us a staff discount, which is really helpful. No, I always rely on Evelyn to listen to my complaints and give advice, like a best friend. Oh. Sophia, are you talking behind my back to your sister? Of course. Sophia and I have our little gossip sessions about Henry and Elijah, right?
Getting a sister and a brother all at once through marrying Henry was the happiest thing for me. That was the happiest aspect of getting married. I hoped these days would continue.
Welcome, Ms. Abigail Smith. Thank you for choosing us. May I ask how you heard about our salon? Word of mouth. I heard the skill level is high, the atmosphere is great, and the service is meticulous. Thank you. Were you interested in a facial today?
I began the facial treatment.
It really hits you after 25, doesn't it? I used to sunbathe without a care, but now I regret it. You must have been careful since your teens, your skin is so beautiful. I admire your high beauty consciousness. Ms. Smith, your skin isn't as troubled as you say. It seems like you take good care of it, but you don't pay much attention to basic skincare, do you? When I'm in a relationship, I really take care. But when there's no man, I tend to go out at night a lot, even pulling all-nighters. Smoking, drinking, all the bad stuff for your skin.
At 25, her words seemed immature. Her occupation listed as an office worker at a major corporation. Can she really handle it? Interacting with various women daily, I've naturally become an observer of people.
So, you're in a relationship now? Can you tell? Yes, it's the biggest romance of my life. That's wonderful.
But he has a family. He always says his wife is ugly, doesn't do housework, and that marrying her was pointless. Just listening to him, I feel sorry for him. He wants children, but she doesn't pay attention to him. Obviously, she married him for his position in a major corporation. Such a typical woman. He says he feels calm and healed when he's with me. Despite how I look, I'm good at cleaning and cooking. He was charmed by the domestic side of me that contradicts my appearance. What do you think about affairs? Common sense says it's wrong, but falling in love with someone can be sudden and unstoppable, I understand. Right? Please tell his wife to hurry up and divorce him. She's no longer needed. The phrase "will divorce" is a classic line from men having affairs. But do men who say that really end up divorcing? Often, they choose their family in the end and cut off contact. What would you do if your husband was having an affair? What to do? Would you divorce? Or would you continue as a couple in name only? I think, probably, I would divorce. Though, if there were children, that might change things. But your husband wouldn't do such a thing, right? I heard you've only been married for 3 years. You must still be lovey-dovey, right? What kind of person is he, your husband? Well, he's just a regular office worker. A bit absent-minded, or to put it badly, oblivious. He's clumsy, so if he were having an affair, I think it'd be obvious right away. So you'd know right away if he was having an affair? It was unusual for a first-time customer to open up so candidly, which made me a bit wary. However, during treatments, it's common to hear all sorts of stories from clients. If talking makes Abigail feel better, then listening is part of an esthetician's job. Sorry for calling you out when you're busy. Evelyn said she urgently needed to talk, so I used my day off to visit the Jones residence. I'm not sure how to say this. It's really hard to bring up. As soon as we got to the main topic, Evelyn struggled to find her words. The idiot Henry seems to be having an affair. Well, it's more like he's in a mistress-type relationship. I was speechless. The thought that my husband, of all people, would filled my mind. All this, I heard from Elijah. The other woman is a colleague from his company. From Elijah's point of view, she's not very good at her job, just cares about her appearance, a typical modern girl. She seems more interested in dressing up and getting attention at work than actually working. Elijah questioned Henry's taste, getting caught up with such a superficial woman. Evelyn laid it all out. She must have felt a strong urge to let me know quickly.
Have you noticed anything odd about Henry recently? Sophia, you didn't realize anything at all?
I hadn't noticed anything. Him coming home late wasn't unusual, and there were no actions or attitudes that raised my suspicion.
You say Henry is oblivious, but aren't you the same? Because at the company, it's pretty obvious Henry and his mistress are an item. It's unthinkable that everything at home has remained normal. Henry is not good at lying, he's too honest and can't hide things.
Maybe I hadn't been paying enough attention to Henry. Even though we're married, we both have our own jobs, and it's rare for us to have dinner together. I thought that was okay, that it was our way of being a couple. I'm not trying to blame you, Sophia. I can't stand that my foolish brother has hurt you.
How long has it been going on, the relationship between Henry and his mistress?
According to Elijah, it started about 2 months ago. They're openly affectionate at work. It's unbearable. The woman is aggressive, and Henry is smitten. Henry's work performance has dropped, which is troublesome for the company. Honestly, hearing all this, I still can't quite believe it. Henry at home hasn't changed at all. Elijah said he recorded a conversation between Henry and the mistress as evidence. I decided to listen to it. Hey, our affair's pretty much public knowledge at the office, right? The only one who doesn't know is the oblivious wife. Wanna bet when she'll notice?
Don't be stupid. What if we get caught and it leads to divorce? You mean you're not planning to divorce? You're just playing with me? That's awful, I might cry. No, it's not like that. If I'm gonna divorce, I need to be in a position of advantage, or else I might end up paying alimony. We need to plan this more carefully. Still, I can't figure out why you chose me, Abigail. Because you're cute to watch, naturally charming, and never boring. Plus, you're manly when it matters, and you're competent at work. I love that contrast.
So, you're considering a future with me, right?
Of course. Marrying you has been my dream. I've never met a man who fits me so perfectly.
Well, it's all about timing for bringing up divorce.
I'll tell your wife myself, so don't worry. After all, your wife is the owner of an aesthetic salon, right? I've heard her family is wealthy. She's an independent woman, so she can live on her own. But I can't live without Henry's support.
But, Abigail, you got into this company mid-career, so you must be somewhat competent, right?
I was hired through connections. I just wanted the title of working at a big corporation, and my goal is to marry a man who works for one and live a secure life forever.
So, you targeted me.
Couldn't I fall in love first? I even asked, is it okay if I fall in love first? Yeah, but I never thought a cute girl like Abigail would be interested in someone like me. You should have more confidence in himself. Abigail Smith has fallen in love with all her might for the first time and wants to marry for the first time.
That's when it hit me. Abigail Smith. I've heard that name before. Right. She was the customer who came to my salon last month.
What's wrong? Remember something?
I recounted the visit from Abigail Smith to the salon.
Wow, that's the worst. She knew she was talking to Henry's wife and provoked her. So that's why. Recently, there's been a lot of slanderous comments written on the salon's website. No effect, scam aesthetic, poor skills, not worth the money, and so on. It was so persistent and malicious that I was thinking about requesting disclosure. Now, it feels like the dots are connecting, and it might be Abigail's doing. On social media reviews too, there were 1-star ratings with comments about rude staff. The salon is dirty, the restroom is unclean, the treatments are painful with no effect. The worst aesthetic salon ever, such comments were posted. That's a matter of life and death for your business.
But from what we heard in that voice message, it seemed like Abigail was more infatuated, and Henry was a bit hesitant, right?
Still, he mentioned looking for the right timing to divorce. It wouldn't be surprising if he says it today or tomorrow. But I can't fully understand Abigail's aim. I can hardly believe she truly loves Henry.
There's something Elijah mentioned that got me thinking. Henry is about to be promoted to chief manager soon. That means a salary increase and fast promotions. Abigail might be thinking marrying Henry ensures her a secure future. Plus, aren't you and Henry planning to buy a new home soon? She might be targeting that too. But the new home is mostly paid for by my father. It's not Henry's achievement. Exactly. After leaving the Jones house, anger towards Henry welled up in me. I was furious with myself for not noticing anything. Until today, I trusted Henry 120%, never doubting him.
I'm home.
Henry was his usual self. Tired. He took off his tie and sank into the sofa. I went to the entrance to align his shoes and carried his bag to the bedroom. Our usual routine. It didn't seem like the right atmosphere to bring up divorce.
Henry, isn't there something you want to tell me?
If so, I'll take the initiative.
Did you hear from Elijah through my sister? About me getting promoted to chief manager? That's not it, something more important. More important than my promotion? I thought you'd be happier. Honestly, Sophia, you can be so cold. I'm already 33 years old, you know? Elijah was promoted to a managerial position at 37 and is on the fast track to success. I can't afford to lose to him. Elijah climbed from chief manager to section chief, and now me too. There might be overseas business trips. Sophia, do your duty as a wife properly. Wait, Henry, did you just tell me to do my duty as a wife? How dare you say that so casually? You actually want to divorce, don't you?
Henry looked flustered.
What are you talking about? Did you hear something from Elijah?
His anxiety was obvious. A sign that he felt some guilt for what he was doing.
It's well known in the company, right? About you and Abigail. Flaunting your relationship openly, did you think it wouldn't reach my ears? Or were you so caught up in each other that you didn't care if it did?
Must be Elijah. Well, no point in hiding it, yeah, I'm seeing Abigail. Henry became defiant. Oblivious Henry had somehow learned to calculate his moves, ensuring he'd come out on top. Ready for battle.
You want to divorce me and marry Abigail Smith, right?
I haven't decided that strictly. But being with Abigail does mean it could lead to that hope eventually. Henry was really unclear. Oblivious, naive, indecisive. His traits could be strengths and weaknesses, but right now, they were just infuriating.
With such a half-hearted feeling, are you with both me and Abigail Smith? We're not in a harem, don't talk as if there's a main wife and a concubine.
Sophia always has a way with words.
Do you know I've been harassed by Abigail Smith?
Harassed? In what way?
She's been slandering my salon. In fact, we've received inquiries and cancellations because of it.
Do you have proof that it's Abigail?
That's why I'm consulting a lawyer.
A lawyer? Isn't that an overreaction?
Of course not. I'm the owner of the salon, and I have a duty to protect it. If it turns out Abigail Smith is behind the slander, I'll make sure she pays. Huh? Such a high and mighty tone, just an aesthetic salon owner, yet so arrogant. Sophia has always been like this. You opened the salon with your parents' money, right? And yet you act as if it's all your achievement. Everyone says Sophia is independent and admires you as a female entrepreneur, but ultimately, you're under your parents' protection. You don't understand how hard and tough it is for us, who are slaves to the company. Talking with Abigail is more comfortable, we click because I don't have to pretend. Even the house, Sophia asked her dad without consulting me, right? I was thinking we should hold off on buying a house because it's too much of a stretch, but you went ahead with your pride or vanity. I work for a decent company, but this makes me just a puppet of the Willems family. That's why, without realizing it, Sophia, you look down on me.
Hearing Henry's true feelings prepared me to face divorce anytime. There's no way I could spend decades with a man who cheats after just 3 years of marriage. Perhaps the world Henry and I saw was different from the start. Your birthday is next week, right? I told my sister we should celebrate with the usual 4 of us. What was he planning? The countdown to our breakup had already begun, yet Henry proposed to celebrate my birthday as usual. It's bad to always have my sister prepare everything, so I booked a private room at a restaurant this time. I immediately sensed he was up to something. Henry's emotions are always so transparent. And so, my birthday celebration began in a restaurant's private room. That's when Abigail crashed it. "This is my special present to you," she said, offering up the divorce papers.
It's signed by me.
Be grateful. I see. So this was Henry's trap. But such a scenario was anticipated. I had confided something to Evelyn just for a moment like this.
Well then, I'm going to submit this divorce paper to the city office right now.
Right now?
Marriage and divorce documents are accepted 24 hours a day, so thank you, Abigail, for the greatest gift.
I truly headed to the city office. My heart was surprisingly calm. 15 minutes later, Abigail came running up in a panic.
Don't rush!
I stopped at her words. Henry was following her. I realized Evelyn must have relayed my message to both of them.
Abigail, wait!
Henry seemed to be chasing after Abigail. That makes sense. It must have been a bolt from the blue for her.
Listen to me.
He was gasping for breath, looking exhausted. He must have been desperate to catch up to Abigail.
Sophia, please wait before you submit it.
Like a chain reaction, Abigail was telling me to wait as Henry told her.
Henry, is it true? You've been keeping a secret child from me. And you're in the process of taking custody? I heard nothing about this. I can't suddenly become the mother of a 10-year-old, nor do I want to. Keeping such a big secret, getting married, and thinking I'd just accept being a stepmother without complaint? Don't insult me. I didn't intend to keep it a secret forever. I was planning to tell you eventually. But you couldn't say it, right? Of course, because there's no way I'd just agree to it. Play family on your own. Sophia agreed to it, right? Then maybe it's better if you don't divorce Sophia. Sorry, but I have no intention of raising Henry's secret child. I don't need a man who deceives me.
It seems Henry was at a loss for words.
You also kept quiet about having debt. Aren't there too many things you're hiding? And both the secret child and the debt are pretty significant issues, right? I can't believe you're cunning to think you could divorce Sophia and marry me with all these secrets. What do you take me for? And the debt, Sophia's father took care of it, right? To think you expect it all to be paid off with the divorce, that's on you too, Sophia.
It seemed she was turning her criticism towards me now.
It's only natural since we're divorcing. You've only paid back $1,000 in 3 years, and you've been delinquent for the last 6 months. Not that my father cares about the small repayments, but he was angry about the lack of sincerity. And Abigail, were you told by Henry about buying a house and living together? That house too, my father is paying more than half of the down payment. I guess Henry boasted about it, but Abigail, Henry isn't as wealthy as you think.
Henry was so speechless he seemed to shrink.
Bragging about wealth to this extent crosses the line from annoying to downright unpleasant. You're with Henry because he works for a big corporation, right? Thinking it's a secure future, that's a shallow reason, isn't it? Why not get married? I'll just go submit this divorce paper. I'll even pick up a marriage certificate for you too, as you wish. Abigail, you understand, right? I can't raise a child alone. I've never done any housework, never even held a knife. You're domestic and good at cleaning and cooking, right? I'm not saying you have to try hard to be a mom. My son's already 10, he's not like a baby who needs constant care. He's quiet, probably won't rebel. It'll be easy to raise him, so you can rest easy. Huh? You're treating me like a maid? What's with that attitude, as if doing housework is all that matters? Henry, you really don't take responsibility for your words. You've been scolded by business partners before, haven't you? You never learn, never change. Henry, you should be stopping Sophia, not me.
No, I don't need Henry either.
You, who came to my salon to provoke and spread bad reviews, please, by all means, become his wife. You did all that because you were jealous of me, right? Because you wanted Henry, that's why you could do such things. Now you can be together, just as you wished, with a bonus of a secret child in debt. I'll make sure you take proper responsibility.
With that, I left this fruitless argument behind and submitted the divorce papers at the city office.
Though Henry and you are divorced, I'd be happy if you could continue treating me as your sister.
After everything settled down, I visited the Jones family to catch up.
I'd love to stay close with you, Evelyn and Elijah.
My silly brother really caused a lot of trouble, didn't he? What happened to Henry after that?
I went back to my parents, so I haven't heard anything from this side. Well, he really messed up. I wish I could hide in a hole. Henry got dumped by Abigail, obviously. Then he became a stalker. Abigail was so scared she quit her job. He even went to her parents' house, calling her relatives to find her. Ended up with the police. Of course, he got fired, couldn't pay the rent for the apartment he and Sophia lived in, and got kicked out. We had to take him in, but eventually, we couldn't cover for him anymore. But Henry brought it upon himself. How have you been, Sophia? I planned to sue Abigail for defamation. The request for disclosure confirmed it was indeed Abigail's IP address. I'm preparing to fight now.
Oh, I heard you were featured in a magazine?
Yes, my salon is expanding its franchise and growing. Just responded to a little interview amidst all the buzz about being a successful female entrepreneur. I'm glad good things are happening for you, Sophia. It seems there's divine justice.
Having a sister like Evelyn out of a 3-year marriage felt like a treasure. I felt refreshed and ready to restart.